Anyone that knocks on my door, I open the door with my gun.
Another story altogether.
Tonight, people are vowing to defend their homes after a rash of home invasions. This is police make a new arrest in connection with one of the crimes.
Verdicts returned in a high-profile, emotional triple murder case. Here in a meet. I'm Heath Allen. I'll have that story.
And new images of the suspected thieves targeting some Harahan businesses. And one of the women is expecting more than just a big payoff.
This is WDSU News at 10.
I will defend my family no matter what, and if that's what it comes to, then that's what I would have to do.
After a string of home invasions across the metro area, some neighbors say they are taking their safety into their own hands. Police have made a third arrest after a string of home invasion robberies in Lakeview.
But while residents say they feel a bit safer, they are not letting their guard down. WDSU reporter Sydney Juwan shows us how people are now protecting themselves in tonight's big local story.
Scott Norman, a lot of people showed up tonight at St. Dominic's, where it was a monthly meeting for the Lakeview Crime Prevention District. A lot of people had this on their minds, those home invasion style robberies in which not only are people robbed in their homes, but then forced to drive to ATMs to withdraw cash for the robbers. The big question, how or why some victims were targeted. Police say there are no patterns, but what we did learn tonight is that a lot of people did not lock their doors. There were no burglar alarms, and only one house had a dog.
I don't know.
Kevin Ruger says he feels a bit safer knowing that the latest suspect, 18-year-old Albert Jones, is behind bars. After all, police say Jones was literally in Ruger's backyard and robbed the woman renting the back apartment.
After gaining entry to her apartment and, kidnapping her basically and taking her to ATM, then he brings her back to my house and tries to get my front door by having her knock on my front door.
Ruger didn't wake up. Jones was arrested on a Crime Stoppers tip one day after police released this composite sketch, which bears a striking similarity to Jones. Meanwhile, folks packed the Lakeview Crime Prevention District's monthly meeting, concerned about the rash of violence. They hope the home invasions have stopped now that Jones joins the other two suspects in jail, but they say they're still keeping their guard up.
Business as usual, carrying my gun, being more aware of what's going on. And hopefully someone, when they get in their house, is able to shoot and get them.
Superintendent Ronald Surpass says Jones is a known criminal in the 3rd District. He was already behind bars, having been booked for trespassing on Monday, 2 days after the Vicksburg home invasion. And according to Surpass, Jones has 10 felony arrests on his record.
We've got to ask ourselves again and again, why is a young man in and out of the criminal justice system so many times to be left to be taught by the system to be a criminal?
People in Lakeview say it's time the criminal justice system steps up.
It's alarming, frustrating, and that does not make me feel any more secure.
It's unfortunate that our criminal justice system works the way it does, and there are so many people that keep on getting arrested and are out the door.
Now, according to police, the victim said that Jones was wearing a cloth over the bottom part of his face, but she suggested he take it off so that he wouldn't look suspicious to others at the ATM. That's when she was able to see his face and then provide a description for the composite sketch. On your side live in Lakeview, Sydney Juwan, WDSU News.
All right, Sydney, thank you. Police have also linked Charles Adams and Joshua Moore to other home invasions in the metro area. And from Harahan tonight, new images of the women wanted for a string of thefts at some Harahan businesses. Police say one of the women is pregnant, as you can see here from the pictures. Police say the other woman is missing a front tooth. We first told you about the Harahan theft last week. If you recognize the suspects, call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111.
Guilty verdicts tonight in the triple murder trial of 33-year-old Michael Varnado, accused of smothering his girlfriend, then setting her FEMA trailer on fire with the woman and her 2 children inside. And as WDSU North Shore reporter Heath Allen tells us, Varnado can live with the outcome.
When the verdicts were read this afternoon, Michael Varnado did escape the death penalty, but just barely.
Ultimately, I think they all came to the conclusion they were not going to impose the death penalty, and that's why we got, in essence, a compromise verdict.
As it turns out, only one juror stood between Michael Varnado and a possible death penalty. Varnado faced 3 first-degree murder counts. For the murder of 20-year-old Juwan Roberts, he was convicted of manslaughter, but he was found guilty of second-degree murder for setting fire to Juwana's FEMA trailer, killing her 2 small children.
No, we're satisfied. The family is satisfied, and again, he will spend the rest of his life at Angola and die in prison, and we think that's justice in this case.
I believe if he would have got the death penalty, it wasn't going to bring my grandbabies back.
For Rachel Roberts and Juwana's family, it is the end of a long ordeal.
Right now, we're all still numb. We're not sure. We're just glad that we have some closure. As of now, we have some closure.
I'm just glad that it's over with it. Thank you for the verdict. That, God was always on our side. I'm just glad everything is over with.
No one disputed the tragedy of the horrific crime. The only thing worse, Varnado's attorney said, would be to convict an innocent man.
When the evidence closed, I believe that he was sincerely worried, and he knows that the result could have been worse. So he's all right with it.
At this point, defense attorneys have not yet decided whether or not they will appeal this conviction. On your side in a meet, Heath Allen, WDSU News.
The murders happened in February of 2007. The children who died inside that burning FEMA trailer were ages 1 and 2 months. Testimony continues tomorrow in the Telly Hankton trial, a day after a key witness took the stand. John Matthews said he is 97% sure he saw Hankton at the scene of the murder of Darnell Stewart. Stewart was killed in May of 2008 outside the Jazz Daiquiri Lounge on South Claiborne. The witness picked Hankton out of a photo lineup, but the question is, did his testimony create doubt for the jury?
What jumped out at me today from what I saw is, how good really is this case? I mean, what can the state do to convince 12 jurors that in fact the identification is a basis to convict somebody to go to jail the rest of their life?
Hankton's first trial ended in a hung jury in July. If convicted this time around, he faces a mandatory life sentence.
Also making news tonight, controversy aside, it appears that the long-awaited development of the stagnant and desolate Upper Canal Street corridor is finally underway. Proponents say it's a sorely needed economic boost with new projects underway from Claiborne to Rampart. My story is all new tonight at 10. The mayor kicked things off at the opening of the new 65,000 square foot Bio Innovation Center near the corner of Canal and Claiborne. The Innovation Center is expected to attract 80 companies and at least 200 jobs.
These smart people in this building are going to create good ideas and smart research, and they're going to solve problems. And we're going to take that information and we're going to transfer it to individuals that will make something out of it, and then they will solve real-world problems, and people will pay a lot of money for that.
The city council followed suit, voting 5-2 in favor of a controversial plan to turn the old Woolworths building into a high-rise, condominium, retail, and parking center. Preservationists are not happy.
Considering that the existing zoning limits it to 70 feet and that the draft CZO allowed for 120 feet, 190 feet is considerably beyond the allowed or even the proposed allowed height.
But proponents say the new high-rise development replacing the dilapidated Woolworths building will help enhance other projects already in the works to upgrade the upper end of Canal Street.
We've been very responsible for getting the Sanger up and running, the downtown Joy starting construction, so we finally have a concentration of activity that really will make this, hopefully, this development successful.
The success of the Upper Canal Street building revival is also tied into the expected renovation of the Lowe's Theater across the street from the planned new high-rise and the Orpheum Theater, which is right around the corner on University Place. Till now, that's what's on the drawing board, but so far 6 years hence Hurricane Katrina, the only new project to open its doors on Upper Canal Street in the downtown corridor is the Bio Innovation Center.
Stocks took a nosedive today. Investors convinced that the U.S. is headed for a recession. Investors were reacting to the Federal Reserve's weaker outlook for the global and U.S. economies in the coming months. One financial expert says the 24-hour news cycle certainly doesn't help ease the panic. And he says the same financial advice doesn't work for everyone. So your best option, develop a plan now.
when things get volatile like they are now, the single greatest thing we have to guard against is letting our emotions dictate our investment decisions. It's why I continue to assert you have to have a financial plan, you have to have a goal-based financial plan, and when you're able to do that, you can sort of drown out some of this noise that occurs on an almost daily basis of the world coming to an end.
Here's a look at today's final numbers. The Dow dropped nearly 400 points. At one point today, the index was down 527. The NASDAQ ended down 82.
And now this report tonight. New Orleans historian Buddy Stahl, a popular pitchman, author, and public speaker, died today at the age of 81. Stahl's family says he lived life to the fullest and encouraged others to live the same way. Over his long career, Stahl worked for several local companies, including Black & Decker and Radiophone. Stahl is survived by his wife of 59 years, his children, 12 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren. Visitation is at Lake Lawn Funeral Home Sunday, September 25th from 4 p.m. till 7 p.m.
New cruises setting sail from the Port of New Orleans. We'll tell you when even more will arrive and how business owners are cashing in. Plus, Texas stops offering death row inmates last meal requests. Hear the outlandish request that prompted the changes. And that massive satellite continues hurtling towards Norman's backyard. Here where NASA thinks this space junk will finally land.
And fall arrives tomorrow, so will we really cool down? I'll let you know in my exact cast.
Hi, I'm Julie.
And I'm Kirk.
With BJ's Pawn Shop.
And BJ's pays the highest cash price for your gold.
Fill my hand with 14 karat gold, I'll give you at least $1,000 cash.
Don't take a check.
Get the top price
in cash at BJ's Pawn Shop.
From corrections to communications, from patrolman to platoon commander to detective, from sergeant to SWAT, from lieutenant to captain to major to chief deputy. For 28 years, Chief Jimmy Pullman rose through the ranks. Now he's ready to bring his courage and command to the job of sheriff. If you want the best person to do the top job, then elect someone who's done them all. Chief Jimmy Pullman, sheriff for a safe St. Bernard.
You wouldn't know it now, but a few months ago, I was hurt in a severe car wreck. I got Morse Bart's number from a friend and called him. I felt my problems start to disappear as soon as I talked to him on the phone. And in the end, he got me $300,000.
I'm attorney Morris Bart. Hurt in a car wreck, call 525-8000 right now. Let me go to work for you to get the money you deserve.
I know his number by heart now. And if I'm ever hurt again, I'll use it. He got me $300,000.
A vacation in South Walton isn't about what you take. It's what you take away and return to year after year. All the special times, the perfect moments, unforgettable places, and all the things you did that you never do anywhere else. Come find your perfect beach.
WDSU and the AT&T Real Yellow Pages are on your side with the 2011 Hurricane and Severe Weather Evacuation Planner. Find tips on preparing your home for a storm, easy to understand directions for contraflow, plus vital information to protect you and your family. Evacuate safely with the WDSU Hurricane and Severe Weather Evacuation Planner. Sponsored by Popeyes and available now at participating locations.
Julie.
And I'm Kirk.
With BJ's Pawn Shop.
And BJ's pays the highest cash price for your gold.
Fill my hand with 14 karat gold, I'll give you at least $1,000 cash.
Don't take a check.
Get the top price
in cash at BJ's Pawn Shop.
Tonight, a look at the river where the Carnival cruise ship Ecstasy was docked earlier this evening. And with a couple of other additions, 4 ships will soon sail out of the Crescent City. A new 3-year deal with the Port of New Orleans brings the Carnival Conquest to town, which replaces the smaller Triumph. Conquest joins Ecstasy in the Big Easy. So 2 Carnival ships plus the Norwegian Spirit and Royal Caribbean's return to the city after a 4-year absence gives New Orleans 4 cruise ships for the first time ever. Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas is the largest cruise ship of the group holding more than 3,000 passengers. And all the ship traffic will generate plenty of cash.
About 2,800 people work as a result of the cruise ship industry. So those are good hard-earned payroll dollars that generate a lot into the economy. For every single cruise ship that actually comes into this port, the economic spend or consequences to the city is approximately $1 million per single ship call.
Nearly 1 million passengers are expected to cruise from the port next year, and that would be a new record. If those numbers pan out, New Orleans would be one of the top 10 cruise ports in the U.S., something not lost on local businesses.
I don't think you can do anything but better business, not only for us, but any other business in this area and for New Orleans itself. I mean, I see how much money we generate on days where the cruise ships are coming in and out, so I can only imagine what it's like for other people.
The Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas that we showed you in that story will be the largest ship to ever call New Orleans home. It features 15 decks, 10 pools or whirlpools, and 14 bars, clubs, or lounges. The first cruises on that ship leave in November.
From the nation's capital, the U.S. House is preparing to vote on a bill that would provide disaster relief for victims of Hurricane Irene. It would make available billions of dollars to victims of the storm, critical funding since FEMA is running low on money to help in the recovery. The bill would also provide enough money to keep the government running through mid-November. Well, a crowded field of Republican hopefuls gathered in Orlando tonight for another sparring session. Most analysts agree there was no knockout punch in tonight's debate, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Jay Gray has the story from Commitment 2012.
The Republican hopefuls began with a swipe at the man whose job they hoped to take.
President Obama has embraced a view of government-directed temporary fixes and gimmicks. They don't work.
But the spotlight and sparring clearly centered on the two frontrunners, Rick Perry and Mitt Romney.
Almost to quote, it says that the federal government shouldn't be in the pension business, that it's unconstitutional, and it should be returned to the states. So you better find that Rick Perry and get him to stop saying that.
Then in your paperback, you took that line out. So speaking of not getting it straight in your book, sir, that wouldn't be a good...
Perry taking every opportunity to paint Romney as what he's called Obama light.
Being in favor of the Obama race to the top, and that is not conservative.
Romney taking several swipes at Perry, who he's called a lifetime politician.
I happen to believe that to create jobs, it helps to have had a job.
The issues stayed the same: jobs, education, taxes, immigration, and foreign policy. And so did the strategy. Romney and Perry jabbing at one another.
He's still hooked to the current tax code. That dog won't hunt.
And the others taking shots when they could.
I think you're sort of making this leap that unless...
The Republican field getting a bit more feisty, but on this night, no less crowded. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Texas prison officials say they're stopping the practice of giving special last meals for death row inmates. This after the man executed for a hate crime made what they called a ridiculous and inappropriate request. Lawrence Russell Brewer ordered 2 chicken fried steaks, a bacon cheeseburger, a pound of barbecue, a pint of ice cream, a pizza, and fudge. And he didn't eat any of it. Brewer was executed yesterday for dragging a black man, James Byrd Jr., to death in Texas more than a decade ago. A 6-ton dead satellite about the size of a school bus is headed towards Earth and expected to arrive tomorrow. Once it finally re-enters Earth's atmosphere, NASA says it will break up into about 100 pieces. Most of those will burn up, but 26 of those pieces, 26, are expected to survive, the largest chunk weighing about 300 pounds. NASA will not know until about 2 hours before impact where it will land, but they think it'll be over the Pacific. North America is in the clear.
Won't be my house. After some heavy downpours earlier today, tonight most of the rain has moved out. Here's a live look over the city from our One Shell Square camera. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Margaret Orr, to see what we can expect as we head into the weekend.
Well, I want you to know if you really felt this day today. Did you realize how important it was?
How important was it, Margaret?
The last day of summer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wasn't that exciting? All right, here is a look at my exactcast. I asked people how they felt about this being the last day of summer. Some were so happy because they are ready to say goodbye to summer and hello to fall. They want some cooler weather. And a cold front does arrive tomorrow, but it's not a real strong cold front. It will be slightly cooler and drier as we go into the weekend. But even though fall arrives tomorrow, we're still dealing with the tropical season. Doesn't end until November 30th. Here is a look at Ophelia. Not looking like much. It's diminished. The maximum sustained winds now 50 miles per hour. The good news is it is forecast to stay well north of the northern Leeward Islands. Here's Hillary, though. It's about 85 miles to the southwest of Acapulco. It's moving to the west-northwest at about 8 miles per hour. If it should wobble any to the north, well, then it could really impact Mexico. The maximum sustained winds are 135 miles per hour. It is a Category 4 hurricane, a very small hurricane with those hurricane force winds extending outward 25 miles, but a very dangerous hurricane. Here is a look at that forecast track for Ophelia. And again, the good news is it is expected to diminish. It's dealing with too much wind shear, and it's going to stay north of the northern Leeward Islands. This is what the last day of summer looked like. I mean, that was an ominous looking cloud. Downburst of rain, and we did get some pretty heavy rainfall amounts reported. Heard from Sal in Poydras. He had 3/4 of an inch of rain. Let me step out of the way. Did you see the sunset on the last day of summer? Tell you, it was pretty. So our high temperatures for this last day of summer were indeed toasty. We were in the upper 80s to 90 degrees. That was reported at Audubon. So here's the change maker. It is this big jet stream that's dipping to the south. It's going to push a cold front through our area, but at this point we do have a lot of warm, moist air that is still over southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi. Frontal boundary is stationary. It's going to take a little bit to move to the south. It's going to be in the neighborhood tomorrow at noontime. Now, as we look over southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi, not much out there now. A couple of little showers over here near Breton Sound and then south of Port Fourchon. So again, not much. But today we did have plenty of rain. Doppler indicated it was about 2.4 inches of rain near Harahan. Over here by Biloxi, it was close to 3 inches of rain. So what's going to happen is this. Tomorrow in the morning, the cold front is still stationary to the north. Warm, moist air in place. That chance of rain. During the day, the front is going to slowly move southward, and it looks like it's going to be offshore Saturday morning. That's when we'll have that cooler, drier air moving in, so that I think the weekend is going to be pretty nice. But with an upper level low to the north, it's still possible you could have a little isolated shower moving through from the north, so we're going to have to watch that. But tomorrow, our rain chances more likely in the afternoon as you start to get that cold front moving through, and so I'm going with a 20% chance. Your overnight lows from the upper 60s to the low 70s. Your daytime highs are going to be right there in the upper 80s. I know for the first day of fall, you kind of hate to see that. So slight chance of rain tomorrow, and as we go into your Saturday, it's a slight chance of rain then. But here is a look at your exactcast, and I do see temperatures on the North Shore in the mid-60s, South Shore near 70 over the weekend, with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Should be fine for all that tailgating for the Saints, and the Saints win, so that's what matters.
That's all that matters.
Yes, you
absolutely.
Margaret, thanks. Know what's next?
What is next?
Chris Miles. Chris Miles up next, talking about the Saints and the Texans. And
here?
Right here. Talking about their preseason practice matchup. Now they do it for real in the regular season. He's rocking the salmon-colored shirt tonight. Stick around.
My son used to tell me every morning, "Dad, don't go to work." My daughter said her mom drank wine when she drove her friends to school events. But I ignored all the signs and didn't offer my children any support. A counselor suggested I try Al-Anon family groups. What I heard at Al-Anon meetings really opened my eyes. If someone's drinking bothers you, you might find help at an Al-Anon family group meeting right here in our community. I found support there. You can too. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
Now there's a safe, natural way to dramatically improve your sexual performance with Postivac, the medically approved vacuum therapy system that's 95% effective, guaranteed. Simply apply the gentle suction of the Postivac system, and within 4 minutes, you'll experience complete sexual performance.
I was kind of amazed how well Postivac works.
It worked the first time around. I'm going, wow, it really works.
Now you and the one you love can enjoy complete sexual pleasure and satisfaction anytime with no pills, no doctor visits. Postivac is a clinically proven vacuum therapy system, not a pill. You'll experience results in less than 4 minutes, not hours, and there are no harmful side effects.
Vacuum therapy is so safe and effective that it is now the only erectile treatment covered by Medicare Part B. And now Postivac is approved by almost every major insurance company in the country. You pay nothing up front, so there's no waiting for reimbursement. We even take care of the paperwork for you.
Postivac's the only way to go. I'm telling you, I've tried everything, and I know if you don't give it a try, you're crazy.
You're going to be all you can be, or you're not going to be all you can be, and this helps you be all you can be.
If you have a brain in your head, dial this 1-800 number after this commercial. Why take the best part of life out of your life when you can have life with Postivac?
Call now to have Postivac delivered discreetly to your home. It's 100% guaranteed to work for you or your money back. And remember, Postivac is covered by Medicare and most insurance companies, so your Postivac may be yours at little or no cost to you. Postivac works in minutes, but the results can last a lifetime. Experience the confidence. Experience complete sexual performance. Experience Postivac.
WDSU, on your side in Southeast Louisiana.
This weekend's game between the Saints and the Houston Texans features two of the most prolific quarterbacks currently in the NFL. Both Matt Schaub and Drew Brees are in the top 3 in completions and touchdowns since 2009. The biggest difference between the two is their usage of wide receivers. While Drew Brees is known for spreading the love around, Schaub keeps his eyes primarily locked and loaded on Andre Johnson, one of the top receivers in the NFL. The 9th-year pro out of Miami has notched over 1,200 yards in each of the past 3 seasons. Saints defensive backs know they'll have their hands full, having had a first-hand look at Johnson in some offseason workouts.
He's one of the phenomenal receivers in this league. He's not only is he a big guy that can go up and get the ball, but he's very fast and has really good routes. So, we got to do a good job of kind of containing his big plays and, make them beat us for somebody else.
Well, yeah, nothing's going to be super brand new to us. We do know these guys. We practice against Schaub and Andre and all those guys and Aaron Foster. And we've seen all their linemen. They've had the same starting lineup that they had last year. And we practiced against them last year for a week. And we saw them again this preseason, and they really got after it.
On Sunday, the Saints are going retro for the first time in almost a decade. This is middle linebacker Jonathan Vilmer's uniform that will be fresh and ready to go this weekend. Back in 2002, the Saints wore throwback jerseys twice. First time around, they donned these beauties in the November game against Tampa Bay. These were worn to commemorate the 1967 season. A month after that, New Orleans broke out the blinding gold jerseys against the Vikings that still give Scott Walker headaches. No Saints team had ever worn these before or since. Uniforms you see now, the last time the Saints wore throwback jerseys. There are 2 sides to every story, and for this weekend's LSU-West Virginia game, that is certainly the case. The Tigers have won 34 straight non-conference games, including one against the Mountaineers last fall. But on the flip side of that coin, West Virginia lost by less than a touchdown in Baton Rouge in 2010, and also feel like home field will play to their advantage for an upset over the second-ranked Tigers.
Being the number 2 team in the nation, we're just ready to come out there and show everybody what we're made of because we're being doubted so much.
We played them last year. I've been out there, and we know what they can bring, and we know that if we mess up one time, they're going to capitalize, and they're going to build on that, and they're going to come after us. So we just got to step back, like I said, and just pick everything up.
The last time I checked, they can only put 11 on the field is equal to the 11 that we can put unless the rules have changed since last week.
There's only one way to celebrate a birthday. Stay locked into a room with a bunch of guys playing mediator to 2 groups that won't budge. That's what NBA Commissioner David Stern did today to celebrate his 69th year. There was no celebration as reports are surfacing that the league will announce the cancellation of training camps and preseason games tomorrow afternoon. But Stern wouldn't admit that just yet.
Actually, my demeanor is flat because I don't have anything to say. We told them we wouldn't say anything. I've told you I wouldn't say anything. And so I don't want to say anything. Would you like me to smile? I'm happy to smile.
It makes me smile. It also makes me smile to listen to those WVU players and coaches kind of say, hey, they got to put 11 on the field. I think it'll be more like 15 Tigers chasing a couple of Mountaineers. That's what it'll feel like.
WVU talking trash.
Yeah.
They're going to get killed. We'll be right back.
Cracked on.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
The Acura TSX comes with standard features like leather and Bluetooth. With the available technology package, it also has Acura Link real-time traffic and weather. Either way, you'll find an estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. And that might change your view on how luxury can live alongside efficiency. The Acura TSX. Find exceptional offers on a great selection at your Acura dealer today.
$50 a month for car insurance.
Switch to Direct Auto and you could get car insurance for just $50 a month, even if your credit is less than perfect. Call, click, or stop by and you could start saving today. Direct Auto will do right by you.
Lights, cameras, Ashley. Time's running out at Ashley Furniture Home Store's big event, the #1 event from the #1 name in furniture. Hurry in and get hundreds of room groups for $50 a month or less with no interest. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, hundreds of room groups, $50 a month or less with no interest. Hundreds of room groups, one big deal. $50 a month or less with no interest. Don't miss the Ashley Furniture Home Store big event.
He was 18 when he put on the uniform to patrol his parish. Over the next 28 years, Chief Jimmy Pullman served in almost every division in the St. Bernard Sheriff's Office. He rose in the ranks to Chief Deputy, and today, Jimmy's day-to-day command protects St. Bernard. A second-generation lawman whose brand of leadership will keep us safe. The most experience for the top job of sheriff is the Chief Deputy who's done every job in the office. Jimmy Pullman, Sheriff.
Since Katrina, everybody and their grandma's been lifting homes.
Well, hurry up, Grandma. Dig that hole. We got grant money to chase.
For a real lifetime warranty and a proven patented lifting system, don't settle for less. Go with the best. Cable Lock Foundation Repair.
If you have inside information on government waste, corruption, or abuse, call the WDSU I-Team tip line, 877-I-Team-01.
All right, first day of fall tomorrow. You going to break out the sweater?
I'm ready.
Don't do it.
Turtleneck for you?
Yeah. Long johns, baby.
Skull cap.
You'll be hot.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great night.